Hello friends, today we are going to discuss the qualitative aspects of script writing. Script is not merely putting slugline, name of character or the dialogue or the action into the format for the script. It is much more than that. The script should be a dynamic and absorbing document, and the person who is reading the script should feel the action going on in it. For this to be achieved, the script writer has to be an expert in many ways. The script writer has to be having mastery over the language of the era or the setting or the social setting in which the film is being made or a scene is being shot. A script writer should be excellent visualizer. He should be able to think how the scene will be, how the people will be, how they will speak and what they will speak. And then he should have capability to transfer those visualizations into words. There are certain parameters or ideas about script to be written. The first one is that it has to have a three-act structure. Three-act means there are three phases in the life of a script. The first act is when the storyline is introduced in the beginning of the film. The characters are introduced, their background comes to view, and their motives are known to the audience. Their nature is known to the audience. Their characteristics are known to the audience. And conflict is also reflected in the script by the 40, 45 or 50th minute of the film, before the interval generally. The second act is the stage when the conflict reaches the highest level of tension. The highest level of tension at which the audience is totally absorbed in the film and worried what is going to happen next, how the hero will come out of the problem. So such a suspense should be created in the second act, that the audience should be really trying to find out how the protagonist will come out of this. And the third phase or the third act is the act in which the conflict is resolved. If we look at the graph or the curve of a three-act structure, it will be something like this. This will be the first act, then second act of highest conflict, and the resolution of the conflict. This curve can take slightly different shapes depending upon the story, depending upon the script writer, and some other factors. But basically it will be something like this, that it rises with the act 1, then reaches highest point with the act 2, and then calms down with the resolution of conflict, where the third act ends. The second thing is that besides the main plot around which the story is written, there have to be subplots in the script. Subplot means there will be smaller stories within the main story, or the smaller plots within the main plot, involving maybe the main characters also or other characters, these plots of romance, action, thrill, a problem coming up and getting resolved, a comedy between two actors, have to be there in the have to be there to keep the action going on and keep the audience fully absorbed. The absence of subplots may sometimes bring in dullness or slackness in the pace of the film. So it is very important that subplots are built up, maybe they are 5, 6, along with the main plot. They actually support the main plot and maybe a little independent also. And they can be, and these subplots have their own 3-act structure, though duration is shorter. These subplots give a fullness to the script. They add to its volume and make it a very dynamic document, full of things to keep the audience fully absorbed during the 2-hour film. The third aspect is that in every film or most of the films, there are certain key dialogues. A film may have one key dialogue or two key dialogues which are repeated by the protagonist or the antagonist or any other main character 3, 4 times or 5 times during the film. These dialogues are key dialogues and have their own significance. For example, let us take the very popular dialogue Mogambo Khush Hua from the film Mr. India. The dialogue was spoken by the villain Mogambo, played by the famous actor Amrish Puri. Whenever he spoke that dialogue, it creates a sort of ambience. It created a sort of tone. It created a sort of mood in the film. And it became so popular that it became synonymous with Amrish Puri. Mohambo Khush Hua. People will often use this dialogue in their private conversation also, while sitting in an office or in a club or a restaurant or at home maybe. So there has to be some key dialogue which has to be repeated a few times to create a mood for a particular scene or a personality and heighten the interest of the audience. Happiness and sadness, victory and defeat, difficulty and coming out of difficulty, all this should be going on. There can be romance, separation, reunion. So these moments of tension have to be throughout in the film so that the audience doesn't have a dull moment. With all this and many other things that can be devised by the scriptwriter, in the main plot, the story should reach a high level of conflict, as we said, and then it should be resolved. The idea is that when the audience comes out of the cinema hall after watching the film, they should be feeling that they want to see it again. Or they should be very enthusiastic to tell their friends and relatives and acquaintances to go and watch this film. Or they may come back with their entire family to watch the film. And there lies the success of the film. when people want to see it more and more. And I will recommend that those who want to write scripts, they should first see good films, the films that have been awarded, the films that are popular with the people, and they should read their scripts. They should read at least 10, 15, 20 scripts of excellent films. That will also give them an idea how to go into writing a script. That's all for today. Thank you.